everyone. You're welcome to yet another edition of Talklawnaija. For today's episode, I am your host, Margaret Tochi, and we'll be talking about attempted suicide. By the review of the World Health Organization in 2018, it goes to show that Nigeria is the 5th highest suicide country, and that is sad for the country. But then, what is suicide? Suicide is defined as a performance of a deliberate act that leads to the death of the perpetrator of the act. So the act that is done is deliberate and voluntary, whilst attempted suicide is the attempt or the trial to take one's life, although this person is not successful at it. By the provisions of our law, Section 327 of the Criminal Code has criminalized and prescribed a 1-year imprisonment for anybody who attempts to commit suicide. So let's understand, what is the rationale of this law? What does the legislature intend to accomplish by setting a 1-year imprisonment for any person that attempts to take his or her life? Is this to serve as a deterrent to others, to tell them don't do this? Because according to what the law is saying, if you attempt to commit suicide in Nigeria, make sure you succeed, because if you don't, you're going to face a 1-year imprisonment. Various persons have said that this law is archaic, because in many other psychologically sophisticated jurisdictions like in Egypt, in Cameroon, South Africa, Zaire, Zimbabwe, we see that the act of attempted suicide has been decriminalized. So why then is the giant of Africa holding on to such a archaic and obsolete law? Why then have we not moved our attitudes from viewing this act merely from the religious point of view to a rather compassionate point of view? Because for a person to attempt to take his or her life, we should understand that it is precipitated by frustration, by fear, by depression, by hopelessness, and the person is pushed to the cliff of mental disequilibrium, that the person thinks suicide, death, is the only option available. So, according to Dr. Ogunlesi, who is the chief medical officer in the neuropsychiatric hospital in Ogun State, has told us that attempted suicide is more of a medical case than a criminal case, and as such, it is unjust to prescribe a 1-year imprisonment for such a person who attempts to take his life and is not successful at it. Meanwhile, the person that succeeds at it has no other liability in law. Let's understand that the purpose of any law should be for the good of society. So when a person has attempted to take his own life, why not prescribe psychological attention or visit a psychiatric hospital? Why not offer family therapy? Why a 1-year jail term? The mental health bill had been passed before the Legislative Council. It has been served to the National Assembly, and up until date, it has not been passed. So we are still working by the obsolete Lunacy Act of 1958 that we took from the British laws. My recommendation to Nigeria as a country is that we look beyond the religious point of view and start to see this act as a cry for help, as an attempt to be heard by a depressed victim, and offer psychological treatment to the victim, rather than the media secures we see, rather than giving this person a 1-year jail term. So it's a shame indeed, a big shame, at a country as big as Nigeria, as great as Nigeria, still offers 1-year imprisonment to a person that has not attempted to take his life. This act should be decriminalized. It should be decriminalized. Other means and other procedures should be stated to aid persons rather than 1-year imprisonment. And also, the mental health bill that has been sent before the National Assembly should be looked at and reviewed, and also should be passed into law. to aid the growth of this country. Lastly, I want to say to every one of you out there, suicide is not the answer. No matter how frustrated you are, no matter what it is you're going through right now, it is only but for a moment and it will definitely pass. Taking your life is not the option. It is not even the solution to that problem you're facing. So yes, if you think you are going through something, do well to share with somebody. Do well to seek for help and remedy rather than allowing yourself to take your own life. Because the rate at which Nigerians take their life is quite alarming. I'm sure you have your own views to attempted suicide and suicide attempts, and I would love to hear them. So do well to write it down in the comment section. You can even send us your experiences and those things you think we should know on our WhatsApp page, on our Facebook and Instagram account, and also YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our page and share this post. Thank you very much for sticking to Talklawnaija. For now, have a wonderful week. Bye.